This is hilarious. This is so funny to me that I'm doing this because I never thought I would do this. I thought we would just do fitness together because I love that. But anyways, welcome. Oh, this is cringy. All together. Woo. All right, let's restart. Welcome to my channel. My name is Sarah Catherines. Well, actually my whole name is Sarah Catherine Smith. But in 8th grade when I started my Instagram, I put Sarah Catherines, and everybody who I ever met after that thought my name was Sarah Catherines. But it's really Sarah Catherine Smith. Take that S off of the Smith and put it on Catherines. It's so bad at this point that when I was buying a plane ticket, I literally wrote Sarah Catherines as my name. And so when I was checking in for the flight, you know, months later, I was like, oh shit, I wrote Sarah Catherines, and had to go through this whole ordeal to change it to Sarah Smith because my name's really not Sarah Catherines. But why would my parents name me Sarah Smith? Like my brother's name, Blake Smith. Mom, Dana, well, it's not Smith anymore, but Dana Smith, and then Mark Smith. Anyways, my name is Sarah Catherine Smith, but I go by Sarah Catherines. I feel like everybody, even on contracts with work and whatnot, they write Sarah Catherines. So officially I'm Sarah Catherines to you. If you're watching this, thanks for being here. This is so much fun. We're gonna go through a few questions that a lot of people on Instagram were asking because it's the first video. And I feel like from there, we're gonna keep doing all the fitness videos because that's my passion, but I feel like I have not just like a lot to, I don't know, teach, but more so my life is, I like my life. It's fun. We do fun things. And it's also comical because I'm insane. I'm literally like somebody sent me away because I'm a weirdo. So we're gonna get started with that. Hello. And I hope you're having a good time, whether you're cooking dinner or doing whatever you're doing. Welcome. Anyway, so question number 1, where are you from? I'm actually currently in my bedroom at home. I was born and raised in Newport Beach, California, in like a house there. And then when my parents got divorced, how old was I? I was in 2nd grade when they told me they were getting divorced. A lot of childhood trauma from that, that's for freaking sure. But then that was 2nd grade. My mom remarried when I was in 5th grade, and she married her boss at a financial advising company. And so then that man became my stepdad, who I love with all my heart. My stepdad is like one of my favorite people in the entire universe. And so we moved into this house that he had just bought in technically Irvine, California, but I say I'm from Newport because I'm in Newport every day, and I was literally born and raised in Newport till I was 11. So this is my home bedroom. It didn't look like this when I was 12. It had blue walls, it had stripes, it looked like your little child room, you know? And then this past year, my mom finally was like, you're 25, you don't live here, even though I come home all the time. And she made it into like a nice little beach bungalow. That's what I call it. It's like a little beach boutique hotel vibe, and it's my favorite ever. I have been like buying my own furniture for my apartment, and I just copy the shit out of this place. She got an interior designer, so that's why it's so gorgy. But that's why I just I got the same where this little, I don't know if this is gonna work, where this guy is from. It's literally just from World Market. Ooh, from World Market. And I got the same exact couch for my apartment. Anyway, so I'm from Newport Beach, Irvine, born and raised. And then I went to LA for college. I went to Malibu at Pepperdine University, Zoe 101. I literally love, ooh, you know, you see me standing, you know what I mean? That is where I went for college, and it was literally a summer school. Like it, you know, you had classes, but like between your classes you would go to the beach, and it was freaking amazing. It was the best time of my life. Every single day I'm like, I wish I was back in college because it was that much fun. So from Newport Beach, Orange County, California, to Los Angeles, like Malibu, California. And now I am so hesitant to say the exact city I live in, which I'm sure some people would be able to guess, but there's a lot of fucking psychos out there. And like I see some girls on Instagram being like, love my neighborhood, like I'm living in, I don't know, Venice. I'm like, what if somebody pinned down your location and came for you? Like that's my biggest fear. So I will never say the exact city. If you are good at finding evidence and whatever, like you know how we girls are, if you're good at finding it out, you're gonna find out. But it's close to Malibu and I love it so much. It's the best city ever and I want to stay forever. So that's where I'm from. Anyways, moving on. What did you study? I studied advertising. And the reason I studied advertising was because I didn't want to do business. That just sounded so hard. And while I would say I'm like intellectually like, you know, book smart and whatnot, advertising just seems like I could do whatever with advertising. And it turns out you can do whatever with advertising. But I ended up becoming like a content creator, which like, I don't think I've ever used my advertising degree. Some would argue like, why even go to college then? I loved college for many reasons, really to become who I am and to become more independent because I used to rely on my mom so much. And so yeah, I studied advertising, didn't use it. Then I got my certified personal training like certification through NASM, and that's like obviously what I use, but I need to figure out some kind of continued education because I love learning. And I also just want to be able to like give you guys all the information that I learn. Anyway, so that's what I did for Pepper Day. So we're going really just like question to question, there's no flow. What do you do to balance your hormones and keep them balanced? Okay, so this is like a whole video in itself that I want to make, but I was on birth control from senior year of high school to senior year of college. So that's about like what, 4 or 5 years. And so I was on birth control that whole time. And I would have like acne, like not terrible acne, but not like great skin or anything, off and on. And then when I got off of birth control, obviously my hormones were so messed up. And so I basically took 6 months to try to help my skin out, get rid of this hormonal acne, because when you get acne, this is for like your hormones being imbalanced, this is usually where it is. And obviously when you go off of birth control, your hormones are just like, I wasn't even getting real hormones. Like, do you know what I mean? Like when you're on birth control, you're getting, what's the word? Essentially fake hormones. Like they're not real like hormones. You're not even getting a real period, not even like a real bleed. And so your body is like, who you are in birth control is gonna be completely different than who you are off of birth control. And so what I did to balance my hormones was, number one, I got my hormones tested. I think you can't even start from square one when you don't even know what square one is. And so I got my hormones tested. I went to this place called Cone Institute in Costa Mesa. You can go to like a bunch of people, but specifically get a saliva test. I think the science behind it is more that like saliva, you do it at a certain time of the month, I think between days 19 to 21 of your cycle. And that can really tell where your hormones are at. There's like a whole bunch of tests, but when I was getting blood tests, that didn't tell me shit. And so the saliva test is really what nailed it. And so I implemented a bunch of things. I implemented different kinds of supplements. But I would say more so if you like can't go get your hormones tested or like do all those scientific things. The basic things are sleeping from 10 a.m. until, you know, what, like 7 a.m., like 6 a.m. That 8 hours of sleep, your body from 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. Did I say a.m.? 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Those are the hours that your hormones are most in production. And so you really want to be asleep, letting your hormones, you know, repair and whatnot and like build and grow and just like take care of themselves, I guess, in average terms. And so lots of sleep, having blood sugar balanced meals. So not just like, you know, reaching for a piece of fruit without pairing it with like a fat, or like having an acai bowl. I'd always feel like shit after, and that's like not doing anything for your hormones. And so starting off the day with lots of protein, healthy fat, making sure that like those healthy fats, that protein is going to be what supports your hormones. So I feel like I keep saying hormones, and I want to preface that I was at the dentist 3 hours ago and they gave me 3 needles of numbing stuff because I had to get a crown. So I feel like this part of my face or like my jaw isn't even working. Can't feel it. So if I'm, you know, insane and talking like a weirdo, that's why. So anyways, my hormones. Hormones, that's like actually that's how I used to talk. I went to speech therapy in 3rd grade because I would say sewa and I'd say always and like that kind of stuff. So I think that's why now I really enunciate things. My friends always give me shit for saying like tighten and straightener and stuff like that. Anyways, off topic, back to the topic of balanced hormones. So it's lots of sleep. You know, you're gonna have that adrenal fatigue if you're not sleeping enough. You're also over exercising. At one point I was over exercising, and that can just drive you right into adrenal fatigue, which is gonna also increase your cortisol. It's basically a balance of keeping that cortisol low, having enough healthy protein, fats, sleeping enough, morning sunlight exposure to set your circadian rhythm up. Cortisol is the highest in the morning. And so you want to ease into that if you're going to drink caffeine in the morning, coffee, doing it with a meal so it's not just like caffeine on an empty stomach. That's also going to boost that cortisol. There's lots of little lifestyle changes, like, you know, taking magnesium, getting more selenium through Brazil nuts. So I'll make a whole video about it because it goes on and on, but I think that these little lifestyle changes are what helped me, especially balancing my hormones was, oh my goodness, what's it called? Just cycle syncing my workouts, because I would do like a HIIT workout religiously while I was like about to start my period or while I was on my period, and that just drives you into more adrenal fatigue plus boosting that cortisol, and it's just like, don't do that. Like literally my periods have gotten so much easier and better from not doing that, from taking it chill right before my period and while I'm on my period. And that doesn't mean, you know, like I'm not lifting a weight, but it's maybe like a lighter weight, or maybe I'm going through my workout slower, or more rest, and just like not crazy loud music, but like something soothing. So anyways, back to the questions, because that was a freaking tangent. So I'll make a video like that. Anyways, where do you see yourself in 10 years? In 10 years, I see myself living in the city I'm currently living in. And instead of living in an apartment, living in a nice house for sure. And I'm married to my current boyfriend. I always thought it was so weird when people would be like, yeah, we're gonna get married. And like, obviously he had asked her. But then I realized they probably talk about it all the time, because we talk about it all the time. So anyways, married to Shane, and we have 2 kids. He wants 8 kids. I'm like, are you insane? Because we're not having 8 kids. They would overpower us, first of all, but I can't even imagine having 3 kids, because I feel like you're just outnumbered. And so I want a boy, that I want a girl, and I'm not going to share their names yet, even though I've known their names for years, because like I said, I'm insane. And so I have 2 kids, I'm married, probably have a fitness app by then. Why would I say probably? I'm going to have a fitness app by then. You have to like speak it into existence. And I'm still doing content creation because I love this and I get to be so creative with it, but maybe it's on a different scale, or maybe it's for a brand, my own brand that I love, or something like that. So it's still doing the jobs that I'm doing, just like on a higher scale. And then it's married with 2 kids, gonna have to have a dog, because I go back and forth between, don't tell anybody this, sometimes I love dogs and sometimes I don't like them, especially when they're ugly, like a freaking chihuahua. Ugh! Like, I am like so not sexist, doggist, I don't know. I'm very like, some dogs are it and some dogs just kick them over a fence. Anyways, so that's where I see myself in 10 years, and I'm excited about that. When did you start working out, and best way to start? I started working out sophomore year of high school. So freshman and sophomore year, I played volleyball. I would like to say I mostly sat because I wasn't as good as the other girls. I got like a late start, and honestly I just like wasn't good. Like, I don't need to sugarcoat it, I just like wasn't as good as the other girls, and that's that. And my coach would be like, okay, you're gonna go and do strength and conditioning and whatnot. And I realized I hated working out, being forced to work out. Like, I hated him being like, you know, run these suicides and like whatnot. I hated that so much. And I also, you know how like soccer girls have a type of body, volleyball girls have a type of body, going off of physical like traits and whatnot, I wanted to work out for the body that I wanted and not being forced to work out because of like, you know, some kind of agility or jumping for volleyball or something. So I ended up quitting volleyball. I got a job when I was, what, 16? And then I started working out at the gym, doing body pump classes at 24 Hour Fitness with my dad. And so that's how I kind of got that intro, was doing these classes and having him there to like help me and teach me what to do. And that was when I was 16. So it's been I'm so bad at math today. It's been 9 years of working out. But I would say seriously working out where it's not just about looks and it's about like overall like longevity and, like I said, agility and whatnot, for the past like 6 years. Yeah. The best way to start is you just start. You literally just get on a sports bra, your shirt, your shorts, and you do an at-home workout. So YouTube has so many free resources. Like you literally, I have a fitness app. You don't need to belong to a fitness app to get your workouts in. You just go on YouTube, you type in whatever you want to work, upper body, lower body. If you don't have weights, type in body weight workouts, etc. And that's how you're going to start. There's no magic formula. It's literally just like, what did Kim Kardashian say? Nobody wants to work these days. Just get your ass up and work. That's the best way. You don't need anything other than your laptop or phone. The other way to start is if you have money, get a personal trainer, but those are expensive. So I'd say go to YouTube. There are so many like instructional videos to do so. How has your fitness journey evolved? So like I said, it started as just like I wanted to work out the way I wanted to for my body. It evolved into wanting to just get stronger and almost like competitive with myself of like, you know, last week I got 3 pull-ups. What can I do this week and in 2 weeks? And kind of having that progressive overload mind of training. And I'd say it evolved into that. And oh, the most important thing is it evolved in the sense of I used to be so like hardcore fitness and needing to look a certain way and burning. My mentality working out was get to 500 calories that you just burned. And now I don't even think about the calories. Like I literally could not tell you the last time that I tracked calories. I never do. I work out until I, you know, feel like I got a good sweat or I feel like I did something for my body that day, or maybe my mindset is reset or something like that. But it changed from working out to burn off calories to working out to feel good about myself internally, externally, and grow that like confidence. And like I said, to become like competitive, like what can I do next? Because I just nailed that. So what's next? So that's how it evolved. Thanks for listening. How did you and your boyfriend meet? Shane and I, his name's Shane. We call him Shane. Everybody calls him Shane, but I call him lots of things. Shaney kebab. Okay, I call him Shane kebab. He calls me lots of things. I guess I just call him Shaney kebab. Shaney, that's it. Shaner, with an Australian accent. But we met when I was finishing up, oh my gosh, when did we start dating? I must have been a junior when we started dating. I was finishing sophomore year of college. I'm 25, he's 20, so he's 3 years older. And he was friends with these Pepperdine girls. If you guys know who Ralph Lawson was, he was friends with her. And these other girls in our sorority, Kappa Kappa Gamma, I think it's like this. I was in a sorority for 2 years and I dropped because I'm not a sorority girl. And so they were all friends and I knew of him through them. And like I'd see him on their Instagram and I was like, wow, like that is the most attractive guy I've ever seen. Like it was one of those like, you're this little freshman volleyball player and he's like the quarterback type vibes of like how obsessed I was with him. And so I would see him around Malibu because he didn't go to Pepperdine, but he worked at Sun Life and like Soho House. And so I would like see him around Malibu, like surfing and whatever, like with the girls and whatnot. And so then he would see me and it became this thing over the course of a year. I saw him like 6 times, just like randomly out and about. Obviously, I didn't even think he knew who I was. And then at a spring Kappa Kappa Gamma formal, he saw me, and I actually had a boyfriend at the time, but he saw me and he was there with a date, but like they weren't boyfriend, girlfriend or anything. They just were like friends, maybe that hooked up and stuff, whatnot. And he stared at me the whole time. Like my ex-boyfriend didn't go because he was an asshole and he was tired. He didn't go, so I had to go by myself. And Shane just stared at me the whole time. And I literally like, I looked back. I did, because my boyfriend at the time literally was an asshole. And I was like, fuck this. And so I looked back and he was just so cute. And I honestly, secretly, I had a huge crush on him. I don't know what to tell you. I did. That makes me a bad person, I guess, but whatever. And so we just, you know, had lots of eye contact and whatnot, and I could tell that he thought I was cute. But that was like in April. Then fast forward in May, he was my waiter at Soho House when I was with said ex-boyfriend. And I remember being like, oh my gosh. But he said that he didn't remember me from that night because he had to take care of lots of like stupid, annoying like Soho people. Like clients? No, customers and whatnot. So then fast forward to June, I see him at Sun Life. I was like getting a bowl and he was there with his friends, and his friend worked there at the time. Shane had already quit, and he was like, who is that girl? And so his friend went in the system and like, I guess somehow knew me because of Sun Life, I don't know, and told him like, oh, that's Sarah Catherine's. And so he looked me up on Instagram, followed me, and I followed him back. And then a month and a half later, he responded to one of my stories, and it kind of got us talking for like about 5 months. I was still dating that guy at the time, but let me tell you this. I told that guy about Shane. I fully was like, hey, there's this guy and he wants to go surfing. Would you care? My ex-boyfriend said, no, I wouldn't care. Like, when I say the relationship was screwed up, awful, terrible, not a good relationship, it was so bad. Like, it was, I can't believe I even went there. Sorry if he's somehow watching this, which I don't think he would be, but like, it is not a good relationship. And so I say definitely shouldn't have gone there. Maybe I delete that. But so then he like messaged me, and then we just like, I don't know, would occasionally like message back, just like very, like I was as platonic as possible. He definitely was a little flirty, but I told my ex-boyfriend about him. I was like, oh, there's this guy that wants to go surfing. Would you care if I went? And he literally said no. I never ended up going surfing, obviously. But eventually we broke up, and then a month and a half later, I met Shane and we went surfing, and that was that. So it was a long time coming. It was like a year and a half of knowing who he was and literally being like obsessed with him. And then I finally got him. So that was our little love story. Next up, talk about your relationship with Jesus. My relationship with Jesus goes back to, I think I was like baptized as a child. My parents are both Christian. My mom is like in a Bible study group, and so I've always been a believer. I went to a private Christian school growing up, then a private Christian high school, and then Pepperdine was a private Christian school, I think too. And I've always like grown up believing in Jesus. And then I'd say in college, I kind of just like stopped going to church and whatnot because I had nobody to say like, hey, like, do you want to go to church? Because my parents like obviously weren't there. But I never like stopped believing or anything. I just kind of stopped pursuing God and pursuing a relationship with him. And then once I finished college, I'd say over the past 2 years, I finally have come back to like wanting to figure out who Jesus is to me without my parents being like, hey, you're Christian. And so I've read, you know, like The Case for Christ and like other kinds of books in the Bible and gone to church and whatnot, and have decided for me that it's my relationship with him rather than like somebody telling me like, oh, you should believe in Jesus. And so I've done that, not work, but kind of like, I wanted evidence essentially. And so like I sought out evidence, and that's kind of where like my Christianity, I don't know, journey has been. And so my relationship with Jesus is very like relational, and like I pray every day. I read Jesus Calling. I would say I could probably read the Bible more, but like I said, it's very relational. So instead of like, I'm very like religious and I, haven't had sex before marriage and like stuff like that, I wouldn't say it's like that, but I fully believe in Jesus Christ, and I'm so thankful that I'm saved and my family is saved, and I love him. I have no doubt that he is real and that he's so apparent in my everyday life. And yeah, so it's a positive thing, and I would love to start going to church more. I'm still working on finding a church that I really like. But yeah. Okay, do you drink alcohol and why? In high school, I started drinking when I was going into high school. Then I kind of stopped for a year, and then it really kicked back up when I was a junior, senior in high school. So bad where I'd be the one throwing up, and love going from talking about Jesus throwing up. But here's why I'm a Christian, because I make so many mistakes and I need to basically I make so many mistakes I need to be forgiven. No. But that is the beautiful thing about Christianity, is that Jesus wants everybody. He's not going to say no to you because you make so many mistakes, you know? So anyways, I drank so much in high school, and I would like binge drink, and I'd throw up, and I'd black out, and I would do all these things that I would never do sober, and carried so much shame and guilt with me for years. And so when I met Shane, I would say, I've said this before, Shane saved my life in essence, because I was on this path of just drinking and binge drinking and, like I said, doing things that I shouldn't and getting so mean when I was drunk and like those kinds of things. And Shane has never tried alcohol or drugs or anything. Not once. He's 28 and he's literally never had a sip of alcohol, like willingly. One time he accidentally drank a water bottle at alcohol, but a sip or whatever. Never done drugs, weed, anything. And when I saw how fun he was without it, I realized like I could be like that too. And so I don't think I've had a drink in 9 months. I'm not saying like, oh, I'm, you know, 100% sober, because I'm not. I don't think I have like an addiction problem, and I definitely don't. But sometimes when I would drink back in the day, I would just be so excited. I would just drink really hard. And obviously like I'd wake up feeling like shit every time I drank. And now if I have one drink, I wake up hungover. So I haven't had a drink in 9 months, but I'm going to a wedding in November. I'm sure I'll have like a drink there. I'm going to bachelorette in 2 months. I'm sure I'll have a drink there. So I'm not like anti-drinking. I just think that you don't need to drink to get drunk. Like that was the goal in high school and college, was drink to get drunk. And you just feel like shit about yourself. Like what does it improve in your life when you drink that much? Doesn't improve anything. I think John Mayer literally said in like some TikTok video, he was like, if you are at 40% while you're drinking, you know, you're 40% and you drink and you're hungover, whatever, you're at 40% and you're getting this much done in life, etc. What could you be at if you took out drinking? Could you be at 100%? And so I think that I said it not the right way, but you can pick up what I mean. Like if you're at 40% and you're like, you know, struggling from a hangover and whatnot, imagine everything you could do not drinking. So that's kind of my mindset. All right, we're almost done. What do you do for work? I do this for work. Not this actually. YouTube is like literally just like for funsies, but Instagram, TikTok, I get paid by brands to promote products that I already love. So I will never promote something that I'm not passionate about. That's like one of my ethical rules for myself. I've had to turn down partnerships because they don't like align with me and who I am. And so I get to work with brands that I love and create content for them and get to use my creative side. And then I also have my fitness platform, sarahcatherinesapp.com. And I get to train girls and help them feel amazing about themselves. And so that's the fulfilling, I'd say that's the more so fulfilling part of my job. And so I get to do both of those things, which is fun. Tattoo tour. Okay, really quick. I have Enjoy here. I got that a year ago, 2 years ago? 2 years ago maybe, because I was at a point in my life where I was just taking everything so seriously, and I was like, girl, you gotta enjoy it. Like, nothing needs to be this serious. So I got that as a fun little reminder. I thought it was cute there. Then I have the first tattoo ever. D for Dana, my mom. K for Catherine, my grandma. Hence the middle name Catherine. Dana's my mom, Catherine's my grandma, and they are my two people. Like, they are my people. Like, you know how my earth grade is like, you're my person, be my person. They're my people. And then I have this little acronym. I don't know if it's, you can see it. It says, God bless you and be safe, and I'll see you at Angel Check. That's what my mom and I text each other every single night. We text each other this acronym. My phone just autocorrects to it by now. We have said that to each other ever since I was like 4 or 5, because she would put me to sleep when I was, you know, when I'm like 4 years old, just 5 years old, whatever, putting me to sleep at like 7:30 p.m., 7 p.m., whatever. And she would say, God bless you, be safe, and I'll see you at Angel Check. And then when she would go to sleep at 10 p.m., she'd come in and check on me. So that was Angel Check. So we say that every single night. And the last two, I just have a little heart. I don't even think you can see it. This little heart, because it's cute, that's all. And then I have this little, I don't know how to get it to load. There you go. Be still. So it says be still. And the reason that I have that is it's one of my favorite Bible verses. My camera just died. So that was good. But basically, be still is because it's one of my favorite Bible verses. It's like, be still and know that I am God. And my mom would sing that to me growing up. Just like whenever I couldn't sleep, she would sing this like, be still and know that I am God. And those are a good sum of the questions. I can't get through all of them because it's already been 30 minutes. I don't know how it's already been 30 minutes. I'm sorry if I went too long. I probably should have eased into this, but I didn't realize how easy it would be to just talk. This is so much easier than freaking editing like a 60-second video and trying to say everything. So anyways, thank you guys for joining, and I hope you learned some things about me. And I want to do a lot more, like obviously fitness videos on here, but I want to do educational videos. I want to do fun videos. Shane and I have a lot of fun. We travel a lot. I want to do videos that are just like feel good videos. And so thanks for being here, and thanks for watching. And this is crazy. This is like the beginning of a little journey. I'm going to try to get one of these out probably every 2 weeks. I don't know if every week is doable for me at this point, but every 2 weeks. So I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks.